Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this elegant spiral boning effect. Okay, so you can actually style it anyhow you want. This is it on the sleeve and this is it round the shoulder. It's a very beautiful and elegant style. So kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't, and click on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we upload a new video. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make a flounce with boning effect. Something like this, something spiral. Okay, so to do this I just need my fabric. I'm working with scuba fabric. You can use any fabric of your choice, doll face, scuba, Ankara fabric, whatever you wish to use, but I prefer to use scuba for this. And I just need my scuba and my regular boning. So I'm working with this regular boning. Is actually so okay. You can sew on it. You can see this line here that is not dotted. That's where I'm going to be sewing on. So this is a regular boning and it's very strong, and you can actually sew on it, but you can work with normal regular boning that you can sew on also. You just need to create a casing for that. But for this, because I'm going to be sewing it on the fabric directly, I don't need to put casing. So let's go straight to our drafting. There are several ways you can actually draft it. You can cut it in front of the flounce, or you can cut it like a flare. But I like to cut like a flare because I feel it just gives me more spiral effects on its own. So the logic there is just that your radius should be as short as possible, because the shorter the radius, the more spiral you're going to get. Okay, so how do I get my measurements? The length of this flare, the length of the spiral that I want actually is 6 inches. So I want it to be 6 inches long. So I can't be cutting 6 inches because I'm going to be hemming it here like this. So I'm just going to be adding 1 inch allowance to it. So I'll make my length 7 inches, and the radius that I want to use, you can use 1 inch radius, 1.5 or 2 inches depending on the fabric that you want. But the trick there is just for you to have a smaller radius. The smaller your radius, the more folds you are going to have on your flare. So for this I'm going to be using a radius of 2 inches because this is a tutorial and I don't want to waste too much fabric. And if I add these 2 inches to my 7 inches length, I'm going to be having 9 inches. So I'll be folding my fabric by 9 inches. So this is my fabric here. I'm going to measure 9 inches like this. Okay, so this is 9 inches. On the 9 inches mark, I'm going to fold it into 2, like we fold our normal 360 flare. So once I fold this into 2 like this, I'm going to be folding it into 4 by 9 inches also. So I folded it into 4 like this for my flare. So what I just need to do is to measure my 9 inches. Remember, the total length is 9 inches. I measure the 9 inches round like this. So once I have my 9 inches round, I'm just going to take my 2 inches radius. I decide to work with 2 inches because that is what I want. Like I said, you can use 1 inch, you can even use half, but it's going to have so many folds that I may not be able to control it. So I think 1.5 or 2 is okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this out now. So now I've cut this out now, and then I'm going to slash it open on one side because I'll be joining many flares together. So the thing is, I'm just going to measure around this so that you see what radius that we have. So you need to measure the space that you want to add your spiral to. Let's say you're adding it around the shoulder, you need to get the round shoulder measurement of the person you are working with. So this is okay. Remember, I took 2 inches for my radius, and after I cut it out, my 2 inches gave me around 16 inches. Okay, so let's say you're working with somebody with a round shoulder of 40 inches. So you know that you have to cut like 2 or 3 of this, and even if you want to pleat or you want to gather it, you can cut as much as 4 of this, then we'll be folding it. So you can see this is what I'm talking about. If I lift it up, you can see that on its own it's already giving me nice folds already. So assuming this is even 1 inch, it will even fold more than this. So the smaller your radius, the more folds you get. So I'm just going to cut 2 or 3 of these, then I'm going to join it together and bring it back to show us. So I've cut 3 of this now just to show us different designs when I'm done. So I'm going to take it to the sewing machine now and then sew them together like this. So I'm going to sew this together. So that's two, and then I'm going to join the third one to it now. So I've joined the 3 flares together now, so it just gave me one very long flare. So the next thing I will do now is just to work on my hemline. So I'm going to, basically what I want to do is just to sew on my wrong side of on the wrong side of my fabric like this. So this is the wrong side. Remember, this is where I sew on. So this is the wrong side of the fabric. So on the wrong side of the fabric, I'm going to take my boning and then I'm going to place it on my fabric like this, and then I'm going to sew on this side of the boning, the white side here. So I'm going to sew it into, by the time I finish sewing it, I'm just going to turn it over like this and then top stitch on it. Okay, so basically this is what I'm going to do. I'll sew it round like this, and then when I'm done sewing it, I'm going to fold it like this and then top stitch on it, so that it can give me something like this. You can see there is a boning inside this, so I'm just going to top stitch on it so that I can have something like this. So now I've sewn it to the fabric. Okay, so this is the boning already sewn to our fabric, so you can see the seam line. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to fold it over like this, and then on the seam line that I already have here, I'm going to top stitch on it. You can also sew the boning on it this side also if you want, but I'm not sewing it because it doesn't really matter. I just need to fold this over like this, and then the seam line that I already created is what I'm going to follow, and then I'm going to sew it around like that. So assuming you are not working with a regular boning that you can sew on, what you just need to do is just to fold your fabric like this and then sew, so that you have a casing where you can pass your boning into, because it's not all boning that I can sew on like this. So let's say you're working with a boning that I cannot sew on. I don't have a sample here. You just need to create casing for the boning. Maybe if it's an 1/2 inch boning, you measure it just a space that can enter, that the boning can enter into. So once you create your spacing, then you dip your boning inside it and then pass it all around. So now I've closed it. I just sew it like I said, following the seam line that I already have here. So I'm just going to trim off any excess that I may have, like something like this. I'll take my scissors and trim it to the minimum, possible. Okay, so once I trim it, I'll have something this smooth. And remember, this is a scuba fabric, it doesn't frill, so I can get away with this. But if you want to pass it inside, you don't need this. Remember, you already tuck it in when you are creating your casing for the boning. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it to the mannequin now and then show us different ways we can style this flounce, this beautiful bony flare. So you can use it as a sleeve, you can use it as, you can pass it around your shoulder, on the neckline, around the waist area, anyhow you want to use it. You just need to style it whatever way you wish to style it. It can even be used as a sleeve. I'm going to show us different methods, different ways we can style our flounce effects. You should be creative. You can style it anyhow you want, so it doesn't have any static style. Just be creative with it and try your best to style it anyhow. So those are some of the styles that you can wear with this. Just style it the way you want. Like I said, kindly subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. We appreciate your support so far. God bless you. See you in the next one. Bye.